Well, good morning and welcome to Cincy Lifestyle on this Thursday. Hey, Clyde, good morning. Wait. What am I doing, Clyde?
You are celebrating National Fresh Breath Day. That's what you're doing. Good morning, everybody. and so how's your celebration going, Mona?
It's going well this morning. Yes, we'll have to wait till after lunch and do the test again to see, but it's going well right now.
I know. So this is the day that the dental community celebrates. They high-five each other every chance they can because this is the day they encourage everyone to make sure they do the things they need to do to keep their breath fresh. See, I think having to wear a face mask as much as we do also encourages us to celebrate National Fresh Breath Day, because I've had some bad experiences with mine.
Oh, yeah, me too, Clyde. You know, I've had to sneak a mint under my mask just because I couldn't stand it. I'm like, what's going on with it? Right.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I was at the dentist yesterday, and they had me, my Dr. Schluter, I love him. They had me rinse with a antiseptic mouthwash before, and I decided that it wasn't a hint of my breath, that it was more to cleanse while they work inside. That's what I decided.
Yeah, that's good. Go ahead and decide that. You're probably right, Mona. You're probably right. Well, in addition to that celebration this morning, we have a three-ring circus of a Cincinnati Curiosities for you, complete with clowns and gunslingers. And the question, is now the time to cash in your gold? But first, blood and art. That's right, this morning, when you think of the art scene here in Cincinnati, you probably think of music hall, the symphony, the ballet. But now Huxworth Blood Center is teaming up with several arts organizations to host an inclusive arts-focused blood drive. And here to talk with us about that a little bit more this morning is Kara Nicholas from Huxworth Blood Center. Kara, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we know this community loves the arts. Now the association, the Arts Association, is helping give back through a blood drive, of all things. Tell us about how that works.
Yeah, so this is a really exciting event, and it's actually the first time we've done something like this. We've partnered with the Cincinnati Arts Organization, and then the ballet, the opera, the May Festival, the Pops, and the Symphony to host this really awesome blood drive at Music Hall, and that's going to be next week on August 12th. And, everyone who comes out to donate is going to be given, a really cool swag bag with a t-shirt and posters and magnets and all this great stuff from these partner organizations. So it's going to be really awesome.
Yeah, those swag bags are one of the high spots of the whole thing. But then, too, there's the whole notion of giving back, right?
Exactly, yes. And, this summer has been a little weird, a little different than summers past. Summer is always a really hard time for blood banks across the country just because typically we see so much higher usage. But then with all of these surgeries that were postponed at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, we've really seen that usage skyrocket in recent weeks. So we're really excited that these partner organizations are helping us get the word out about the need for blood and help us collect some of those life-saving blood products.
That's a super thing. So tell me a little bit about, the question that most folks are going to ask when you ask them to come out and donate blood: will I be safe?
Yes, so Hawksworth is taking all necessary precautions to make sure that donating is safe. Masks are going to be required of donors and staff. We're sterilizing all of our shared surfaces. All of our phlebotomists are wearing gloves, and we are adhering to those proper social distancing protocols. So safety at this point is very, very important to us. So it's very, very safe to donate.
Well, and that's good to hear. What was the hook for the arts community that led them to decide to dive into this?
So it's actually really interesting, knowing the really important role the LGBTQ community plays here in the arts community here in Cincinnati. They wanted to make sure that this blood drive was going to be inclusive. And it is an unfortunate reality that not all members of our community are welcome to donate blood at this time due to FDA restrictions. The most well-known one is the MSM restriction, or men who have sex with men. So men who have sex with men cannot donate unless they've been abstinent for at least 6 months. And, this used to be a permanent deferral. And, we're making strides in the right direction by, saying, yes, you can donate after a certain amount of time. But we are going to have these awesome cards here at this blood drive where, we'll be sending them to the FDA, and you can say, we want deferrals to be based on science, not on fear and bias. We want this to be based on, new research and making sure that we're keeping the blood supply safe, but also allowing people to donate when they want to and if they're allowed to. So we're really excited to be able to make this inclusive and to recognize that we need to do better, and we need to make, this event and this environment more inclusive and welcoming to all people.
Sure, just a little bit of time left. How can people find out more information?
They can go to hawksworth.org or give us a call at 513-451-0910.
Great to talk with you as always, Kara. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Mona?
It seems like most children go through a phase where they are absolutely fascinated by the circus. Well, one woman was so entranced, she actually ran away with the circus troupe and ended up right here in Cincinnati. The tale of Agnes Messman is just another one of those Cincinnati Curiosities.
How is it that a shy German girl grew up to own a circus and to bring the Wild West to Cincinnati? Agnes Messman was quite young when she and her family immigrated to the United States and settled in Cincinnati. The circus came to town when Agnes was just out of her teenage years. She was smitten by one of the clowns, Billy Lake, who was equally entranced by young Agnes, so they eloped. The young bride, known as a most subdued and retired young lady, discovered that circus life was boring for those who did not have a role, so she created an act for herself. 2 acts, in fact. Agnes became an expert wire walker and was the first person to execute the daring feat of trundling a wheelbarrow on a small wire up to the roof of a circus tent. It was as an equestrian executing daring exhibition of horsemanship that Agnes became a headliner. A popular routine was the role of Mazeppa, during which she wore a very skimpy costume while charging around the ring at high speed, lashed to a spirited horse. Agnes showed a fine head for business as well and managed the financial side of the Lake Circus along with James Anthony Bailey, who later joined forces with P.T. Barnum to create the Barnum and Bailey Circus. Her business acumen became essential one day when William Lake was murdered while on the road. A few years later, Agnes brought her circus to Abilene, Kansas, where the town council wanted an exorbitant amount of money for a performing license. Well, this did not sit well with the town marshal, a man named James Butler Hickok, better known as Wild Bill. Marshal Hickok announced that the show would go on without payment, and anyone who objected could deal with him personally. The town council backed down. Wild Bill attended every show and was soon wooing the widow Lake. After a 5-year courtship conducted mostly by letter, Agnes Lake and James Butler Hickok were married in Cheyenne, Wyoming in 1876. They honeymooned in Cincinnati among Agnes's family. Hickok left Agnes in the Queen City to lead a gold prospecting expedition out west. Hickok was at cards in a Deadwood, South Dakota saloon when Jack McCall shot him from behind. Hickok died instantly. Agnes made the trek out to Deadwood to see that her James was properly buried. She spent the rest of her long life living with her daughter Emma and her son-in-law Gil Robinson of Cincinnati's Robinson Circus family. Agnes died just shy of her 81st birthday. She's buried in Spring Grove Cemetery. And right now, I want to welcome back the man who curates these curiosities, Greg Hand. Greg, always good to have you with us on the show.
Always glad to be here.
You mentioned that Agnes fell in love with a clown, but those clowns didn't necessarily look all that funny. Why is that?
That's right. Back in this time, around the Civil War, a little bit afterward, clowns did not have the ha-ha slapstick sort of approach to performance that they do today. Clowns were still evolving. And so if you went to the circus and saw the clown, they'd have kind of a funny costume, but mostly what they did was tell stories and kind of like a stand-up comedian, and they would sing humorous songs. So most clowns were sort of singers, and they were a little more serious than they are today.
Okay, so Agnes's maiden name was Messman, then her married names were Lake and Hickok. So why does that Spring Grove monument say Thatcher on it?
Oh my goodness. Tracking down this woman requires detective work. The clown that she married, he went by the name Billy Lake, but his real name was William Lake Thatcher. So her actual married name was Thatcher. What complicates things is her family changed their name. In Germany, they were called Polschneider. When they came to the United States, they changed their name to Messman. And apparently they couldn't remember what they changed their name to because half the documents show their name is Mersman. And so there's this just jumble of names involved with her. But legally, she was a Thatcher who married a Hickok.
So wasn't Wild Bill married to Calamity Jane?
Here's another one that you really need to untangle. The saying out there in the West is that when the legend becomes fact, print the legend. And legend has it that he was married to Calamity Jane. Well, it turns out that that's largely a story promoted by Calamity Jane herself. Now, there may have been a liaison. There may have been some huggy bear kissy face going on. But as far as legal embracing, Agnes was the only wife of Wild Bill Hickok.
All right, Greg, thanks so much for talking to us as always.
Always a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you again.
Well, coming up here on Cincy Lifestyle, the price of gold is rising. So does that mean you should start pawning all your old broken necklaces or hold off for a little bit? We'll talk to a gold expert about this rise in value and what it means for you. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. If you've been keeping an eye on the news lately, you've probably heard that the price of gold has reached an all-time high. So the question, is now the time to trade in all those broken gold necklaces, or should you hang on to them? For the answer, we went to an expert. So let's say good morning to Brad Karleff, a partner at Coins Plus Cincy and a member of the Professional Numismatists Guild here in Cincinnati. Brad, thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me, Clyde.
And I'm happy I made numismatists. So let's talk a little bit about how long you've dealt with precious metals like gold and silver.
I started in this business here in town in 1975, so 45 years.
Okay, all right. Well, everybody's all abuzz because we hear now that the price of gold has passed $2,000 per ounce for the first time in history. So for the average Joe or Jane watching this, what does that mean?
Well, it was 2,065 earlier today. For the average person, it doesn't mean much, but for those of us that own gold, it's a very exciting time. It's the first time that gold has really taken off like this in the last decade or so. So it offers a lot of opportunity for those that own the gold.
Okay, so a lot of people hearing that will start rummaging through what they've got at home to see if they've got some gold. And if they should find broken gold necklaces or things of that nature, what should they do now to cash in?
Oh, they can stop in at any of our 3 locations, and we would be happy to give them a quote on what they have. And obviously, it'll be the most that we've paid in ever.
Okay. So what about silver? Because there's some talk out there now that the same thing may happen with silver.
Silver's been advancing very well. Also, it was at about $28.50 earlier today. It's not approaching its record highs, which was $50 in like 1980 when the Hunt brothers tried to corner the market. So that was an artificial market. But silver has been doing quite well on its own lately.
Okay. So folks are, as we said before, going to be interested in finding out more information about the precious metals or coins that they have. How can they connect with you?
Well, coinspluscincy.com, CINCY, is our website, and we have 3 stores in the greater Cincinnati area, downtown, Anderson, and Florence. They can call any of the stores that are closest to them for more information. And if you want to get a hold of me, I'm at 513-621-1996. And again, coinspluscincy.com.
I've got a feeling, Brad, you're going to be very busy soon.
We hope so. It's been very good the last couple of weeks leading up to this.
All right. Brad, thanks so much for talking to us today.
Thanks for having me, Clyde. Have a great day.
Indeed. Mona?
You know, we love to show you new and unique music here on Cincy Lifestyle, including bands who come from out of town. Well, right now we want to introduce you to a couple with roots in blues and bluegrass who are taking their sound up a notch. Here are the Ghost Wolves.
And Johnny Wolf, and they are with the Ghost Wolves, or Ghost Wolves, depending on how you feel that day. Guys, welcome. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Give folks an idea of what your sound is.
We're calling it blues, punk, southern gothic now.
Is that your final answer?
It's our final answer.
I thought it was punk blues.
Oh, man.
We'll let you guys decide.
That's a debate.
Punk blues.
They have a lot of different sounds, super dynamic, and more importantly, you just released 3 new songs.
Yes.
So we're gonna hear some of that today. You guys have evolved your sound. You've been playing together for how long?
Almost 9 years. 9 long years.
What is that like?
We've been talking about it lately because it's really funny now. We look back and it's like, gosh, we played in Cincinnati like 8 years ago. That feels like a long time ago now.
When you guys first started, what would you say your sound was, and how did you get to where you are right now?
Well, when we started, we were playing R.L. Burnside and Ronnie Dawson primarily. So it was a blues and a rockabilly mixture. And we were writing songs like that and getting our inspiration from that. Just strictly drums and guitar with one amp. So then we started evolving, and I got 2 amps to make a bigger sound, and Johnny got his synth, and so we were able to add a little bit of electronic sounds in there, and the music would sort of evolve naturally with adding the different instruments.
And why? Let's even take a step backwards a little bit as to where your name, the Ghost Wolves, comes from, and the roots of that, and then how Dakota plays into it.
Yeah, so my family has been rescuing and raising wolf hybrid and northern bred dogs for years and years, and so I was raised with them. And right when we started this band, our alpha male passed away, Ice, and he was with us for 15 years, so he was, a big part of our family. And so we wanted to carry his legacy with us, and so we named the band the Ghost Wolves. And since then, when Johnny and I met, we had 8 at the time, and so it was a pretty big pack, but all of them have since passed on, and we've rescued others since then too, and we're actually back up to 7 at the moment. But
my goodness,
yeah,
it's a lot of dog food. Oh my goodness.
Yes,
it's a lot. But the Ghost Wolves pack has grown over the years, and as well as the ones that travel with us and keep us company and keep us happy. So that's Dakota's job.
Could you have predicted this, kind of how this music journey has been for you?
No, we've had an eye on releasing something with Third Man Records since we started this band, because we love the label, and we were talking about it. Like Johnny was like, if you would have told me that we would be able to achieve that when we started this, I wouldn't have believed you. So we put in the work, and it's just like finally a big
deal.
Yeah,
these 3 songs for you. But we're going to talk about your fashion faux pas, because you said that in Japan, number 1, folks really loved your attire, and 2, Carly's trying to put the hat over the headphones. It's not working. But this is kind of a big thing for you guys now, right? Moving into the fashion scene. What is it all about?
It's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, we have a line of clothing out in Asia in 40 stores with a company called Hysteric Glamour, and they love Carly's art because she sits in the van while I'm driving because I drive everywhere. She draws, does posters and anything like that. So we've been sending them packages of art for a couple of years now, and they've been printing it on beautiful clothing.
Where can everybody find and get your music?
TheGhostWolves.com.
Thank you so much for being here. Johnny, Carly, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having
Thanks,
us.
that was a lot of fun.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
Another great day to be in the Ohio River Valley in Cincinnati. Not much discussion about rain as a potential. Nice temperatures and low humidity. So get out and enjoy.
My kind of day, Clyde. Well, hey, coming up tomorrow on Cincy Lifestyle, we'll take you inside a beautiful classic home. You know, it was originally built in the 1800s and is right next door to the Cincinnati Observatory. We'll talk to the owners about the love and work they poured into this house and show you some of its features. Oh, look at that, Clyde. That looks beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, it is. That is absolutely gorgeous. And the photography that kind of takes you through is just really breathtaking as well. Hey, look, check in with us if you know something that we ought to know. We'd be glad to hear from you. In the meantime, that is Cincy Lifestyle for Thursday, August 6th. Be sure to get out and make it a great day.
Thanks for watching our video. And if you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe button. You can also check out full episodes of the show you've never seen before or watch your favorites again and again. And as always, we love to say it, make it a great day.